Hello and welcome to the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars. I'm John Milewski, host of Dialogue. We're on the set of Dialogue. Just completed a fascinating discussion in anticipation of the president's upcoming spring break trip to Latin America. 3 countries on his docket: El Salvador, Chile, and Brazil, the biggest country in the region. I'm joined by our left to right for you, Cynthia Arnson, Joao de Castro Neves, and Paulo Sotero. One thing we didn't talk about that I want to ask you about for our YouTube viewers is on the president's trip, there will be an address to Latin America. One of the things he's going to do is have a televised address. What should he say? Let's put you in the seat of presidential advisors. What is the president's message to Latin America?
John, there may be 2. There may be one in Brazil, and there may
specific
be
to
Brazil, and there may be one now in Santiago to the region.
Right.
And it's a good decision.
We can talk about both.
It's a very wise decision because Brazil is not, for reasons that Joao mentioned, Brazil is not the ideal platform to talk about Latin America. As you know, ask a Brazilian if he or she is a Latin American, you have an interesting discussion. So
you get to be the 7th largest economy in the world, you maybe start not wanting to be lumped in with one region.
It's part of that, and I believe that it's a very, it demonstrates a real political sensitiveness to do this separate.
Yeah. So what would the message be, Joao?
Well, I think the message in the case of Brazil particularly is what does how the United States and Brazil can engage not only bilaterally, there are many topics on the table in terms of energy cooperation and so forth, but also how can these 2 countries agree to disagree on international or multilateral issues like trade, human rights, or nuclear proliferation. There's been some problems in the past, in recent past, between the 2 countries, some disagreements, but Brazil, with a new government, has adjusted its foreign policy, has deflated the rhetoric, the elevated rhetoric a little bit, and that tends to put the 2 countries back on track. So I think from a Brazilian perspective, is they expect Obama to recognize the country's new role, and with costs for Brazil. But Brazil has to be a more responsible leader, more coherent, have a coherent foreign policy. So I think that is the main message to Brazil.
Welcome to the club message, almost.
Right. Yes.
Cindy, I don't know if you ever wanted to be a presidential speechwriter, but we'll make you one today.
I think for the rest of the region, it's a variation on the theme that we've just heard, which is that that South American democracies that have shown a commitment to democratic values, to democratic governance, to social inclusion, and to stable economies should be considered strategic allies of the United States. Not that countries any longer, if they ever did, but certainly any longer look to the United States for solutions, but that as the United States deals with the issues that it has to deal with, as Latin American countries deal with the issues that they have to deal with, there are lots of areas in which there can be positive collaboration and win-win situations. And I think that the defining of this mature hemisphere as a strategic asset is a really important message of the entire trip.
Thanks, and if you'd like to hear more from our guests on the topic, they have many insights to share. Come to our website, www.wilsoncenter.org. Look on the upper right-hand side of the screen. You'll see a tab for Dialogue. Click there and follow the links to a complete 30-minute interview. Thanks.